donkeys apparently have like serious attitude, and multiple donkeys have been arrested.
Hello and welcome to Spotlight Indie. I'm HL Tinsley, full-time author and part-time Fraser Armitage stunt double. As you can see, unfortunately, Fraser Armitage is not able to be with us tonight. He's feeling a bit under the weather, and hopefully by the time this goes out, he will be back with us and he can take the wheel once more. However, I am joined tonight once more by my illustrious co-host, Alex S. Bradshaw. Alex, how are you?
I'm very well, being very illustrious today.
And what has been the highlight of your week so far?
Oh, there's so many things to choose from. It was actually my dog's birthday on Saturday over the weekend, so let's go with my dog's birthday as being a highlight of the week. He turned 4 years old, which is lovely. So we went to some woods. He had to run around like a lunatic, and decided he didn't want the cake that we bought for him because it didn't have any meat in it. So fair enough.
That's fair. So yeah. Are you one of these people? Do you do the whole hat for the dog and the candles and things?
No, I think we did get him like a Christmas like scarf kerchief thing with like it's got sort of dinosaurs and Christmas presents on it. But when you put that on him, he will have it on him, but he gives you a look as if to say, "This isn't right. You know this isn't right." And every time you try and take a picture, he just looks like they forced me to do this because I don't have thumbs or human words. And I haven't tried a hat on him. I don't think he'd go well.
I mean, I think that's very fair. I think if someone put a hat on me randomly, I would question that action as well.
Yeah, so rude.
Yeah.
Exactly. But before we go too far into dog hats and that whole debate, I'd like to introduce our guest for this evening. It is the wonderful friend of Spotlight Indie. It is Emily Inkpen. Emily, how are you?
Hello, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Very nervous to be filling in for Fraser.
You're doing excellently so far. You can totally relax. You're good. You got this.
There's still time.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to have a bit of a chat tonight about some good news that's going on in the indie author and creative sphere and community. We've had some news sent in by people on the socials, and we're also going to talk to Emily a little bit about what's going on in her life as well that could be considered good news. Before we do that, Alex, I believe you have a little update on some event stuff.
Yes, so we are opening the doors now officially to sponsors for the event. So we had some sponsors last year, some very lovely people who got their names stickered over various bits and bobs at the event. So if that is something you would be interested in doing just to help us, keep the event running and just help with the cost of various bits, because although you wouldn't think so, there are always costs involved in this sort of thing. So if anyone is interested in doing that, just reach out, to any of us on social media, like Holly, me, Fraser, maybe not Emily. She might not be able to help you quite as much as we would, but yeah, just ping us a message and we can talk to you about what that might entail.
Yep, I can forward a message.
That's boss. Very kind of you. That's very kind of you.
So if it does come to that.
If you want to get involved with that, just drop us a line. There are plenty of sponsorship options, and we would really love to have you be involved and helping us to support this wonderful indie community. Speaking of which, Emily, last time that we saw you, you were just getting ready to start work on your new season of Dex Legacy, which has been funded by Kickstarter. So obviously a lot of love in the community for Dex Legacy. How are you feeling about that?
Well, the Kickstarter went really, really well. I think when I was in Shrewsbury last, it was the middle of the Kickstarter campaign. And now, we ended up finishing on 110% funding, which was fantastic. Yeah, it was, it's always nerve-wracking. If you've never done a Kickstarter before, don't plan anything else for the month. Write it off. It's terrifying. So yeah, awful. But also very rewarding. And yeah, we're incredibly lucky with our fans and listeners and people in the community supporting all of this. It's so important. And yeah, so we got funded. That was end of last year, sort of October-ish, November. Then this week, yesterday, we were doing table reads for season 3. So Monday and Tuesday we've been doing table reads. Next Monday and Tuesday next week we're in the studio for the first 2 days of recording, which is really, really exciting. So we've got the main cover characters on in the studio on Monday and Tuesday. That's Varian, Isra, and Ren, who are the super soldier characters in the Dex Legacy. And we've also got 2 brand new characters who are joining us. And one of them, I'm very excited because one of them is being voiced by Nicholas Briggs, who is the voice of the Daleks in all of the Doctor Who shows. He has always been the voice of the Daleks.
Wow.
And he runs Big Finish, which is the audio drama Doctor Who channel enterprise. And he's just amazing. And I know you're going to love his character. So yeah, like lots of exciting things happening. Oh, and also we're releasing the Dex spin-off audio drama, Wasteland, which is a mecha audio drama. I have a thing.
Oh,
yes.
We love things. I love it.
Lovely.
I decided to be, prepared. So yeah, we've got this thing. It's a mecha audio drama. It's set in the same world, but from a completely different perspective. And these people are good guys. They're just really nice, which is really rare for me. I always write grimdark. I always write horrible character. In the Dex Legacy, they are the baddies. But in Wasteland, they're all actually just pretty solid. So yeah, so exciting things happening this week. Yeah.
I mean, that's a space of a week. I mean, what's the next 6 months going to be like for you?
I'm terrified. Actually, I'm properly exhausted, and it's like you sit there and you're just like in this shell of exhaustion. But then you think, okay, what has been going on? And it's like, oh yeah, that's been going on. That's been going on. All of these things are good, but it's like you only have so much bandwidth, and everything takes energy. And so I'm at that point at the moment, and it's the sort of like in a couple of weeks I'll look back and I'll be in a completely different place. But right now I'm at the sort of stage. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is that thing, isn't it, when you're doing a Kickstarter, because it does take up all of your mental energy and your focus. And as a journey, it's very intense, but obviously you get payoff at the end, which is fantastic. So for you, how was just the experience of keeping that kind of momentum going through? Because it's quite a long period. Because, I mean, it's a month of your life, really, isn't it? Which just complete non-stop. How did you manage that?
Well, I've done it before. So I remembered that it was awful. But you sort of block the memory of the details. You sort of like your brain cushions you from that. But I think it's worth you have to bear in mind all the numbers. So there's a lot of stats involved, and it's basically like you have to get a third of your funding in the first 48 hours, and then you'll get another third of your funding over the course of the next 3 weeks, and then you'll get the rest of your funding, the last third, in the last 48 hours, because people love jumping on a bandwagon, and then people love a deadline. But you've got to keep things going over that intermediate time of several weeks, and that's the exhausting bit. It's like you start with a sprint, you end with a sprint, but it's the bit in the middle. And I mean, we did things a bit differently this time. We kept engagement up because we kind of, first time around, it was like we had no idea if anyone was going to back us. We didn't have any contact with our fans. We didn't there was no way to contact our fans because it's all through podcast platforms. And so we were sort of flying blind. And then at the end of that Kickstarter, I invited everyone to a Discord, and we got, a few people signing up, which was lovely. You can never imagine it's going to be everybody. So yeah, I had this Discord of people who I knew were solid. So we knew we were going to have a few. And this time around, I invited those people. I invited everyone who pledged to the Discord immediately, so that we were getting everybody over there to engage straight away. Then you've got to keep updates coming. So I guess what I was going for this time around was a FOMO kind of thing. Donate now, and you'll get in on the action on Discord while this is all unfolding, and I was asking people on Discord, what do you want to know about the Dex Legacy? They were asking me questions. I was writing updates for the Kickstarter based on the questions that were being asked in Discord. So it was like, donate now, you'll get into the Discord, and then you'll be able to ask this burning question that you want, and I'll answer it in an update. So it was sort of trying to do that kind of thing. It was terrifying. Like the numbers were looking pretty shaky. They always are, like, unless you're one of those people. And the problem with audio drama is that it's not something that people go to Kickstarter to fund. People browse Kickstarter looking for board games and RPGs and comics and, sometimes books, novels. Nobody goes to Kickstarter thinking, I'm going to fund an audio drama today. Nobody does. So you've got to bring everybody in, and you can't rely on like just people finding you through the platform. So it's like, it's extra work to do that. But yeah, there's multiple ways. I don't know if I'm even answering your question anymore. This is just me. Yeah. Like what?
No, you are. You're absolutely answering it brilliantly. And quite honestly, I think that people should go to Kickstarters to fund audio dramas. So we're just going to tell people to go and do that now.
Yep. Can only recommend.
But in terms of what's going to be happening in the next season of Dex Legacy, what are you allowed to tell us? I'm mainly asking because Fraser will be very upset if I don't.
Well, okay, so what I will say, okay, so I'll come at this from the writing point of view, okay, because I can't really give any details away in terms of like, story. But what I can say is that every single season of the Dex Legacy that I've written has been a very different writing experience. So it's like I'm evolving as a writer with every single season that happens. And I mean, the first season was a mess and a miracle at the same time. We were writing and releasing on the go. I had no idea where it was going. I hadn't written episode 5 when we were releasing episode 3. It was absolutely frantic, and I lived in fear, absolute fear, for the entire time. Season 2, we wrote all, sort of in advance. It was loosely planned. The timeline was much tighter. So instead of like season 1 ended up spanning about 3 months of time in the world. Season 2 was a week. So it was much more contained. Season 3 is about 6 days. And my planning has reached a peak to the point that I now use a spreadsheet. Yeah. I never thought that would ever be the case. I mean, I know this isn't alien to other people, but for me, this is a huge, huge landmark. Yeah.
This is how it starts. This time next year, you'll have 50 spreadsheets with different colored tabs, like the rest of us nerds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's sort of like the scene by scene is like very comprehensive for season 3, and it's like the idea behind season 3 is that it's just surprising. It's going to keep people on their toes, and there's quite a big twist in it. There's a mini twist at the beginning, then there's another big twist, and hopefully it's just going to be really epic for people, and new things are going to be happening that you didn't see coming. And it's kind of fun. There's always been dark humor in the Dex Legacy, but this time it's like things are just moving so fast. It's like very self-aware. You know when things just keep snowballing and you get to the point where it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, sure. Right. That's what's happening now. It sort of gets to that point with the characters. So we've got that kind of mood going on. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to record. I cannot wait for next week.
See, this is why we need the spreadsheets, because we have to have the spreadsheets. So we've got something that we can ignore while we're writing. So we write down all the ideas and then start writing, and then don't actually use any of them.
Yeah. And then you go back to the spreadsheet and update it. If you're being good, you update it to what you actually wrote, as though that was your plan from the beginning.
This is it. This is the secret of writing, is to make a plan, ignore it, and then pretend that's what you meant to do all along.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is the beauty, that you present people with this final product and then they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. How did you come up with that? It's like, it definitely didn't take me 6 months of pretending I was doing something else and
Yeah.
then writing this thing. It just all looks like genius from the outset.
I mean, that's a lot of positives from you, Emily, which is really great to hear. So we're very excited to see what comes next with the Dex Legacy. But in the meantime, we do have some good news to share from the indie community. People have been sending in messages, once again, celebrating their achievements. So, Alex, I believe you have some good news to share this week.
Yes. As you said, we put the call out on social media, so always, keep an eye out for that and let us know what good news you've got, and we will shout out for you. But at the end of this month, January, as we're recording, Adam Bassett is releasing a book called The Animus Paradox, which is a digital extremities story. So it's a cyberpunk story, I think in the same world as he's done a collection of stories as well. So that's coming out at the end of January, which is fabulous. So congratulations to Adam. Always a good moment when somebody releases something. And on the tabletop RPG side of it and crowdfunding side of it, actually, we're sort of keeping the theme going there. I got an email into my inbox. I haven't tried this role-playing game yet, but I am very keen on it. It's called Bramble Trek, and it's like a solo or GM-less RPG, which you sort of journal. You're a little mouse going through some woods, but they're releasing on crowdfunding in a month or so an expansion for that, which is the Tale in the 100 Acre Woods. So you get to play as Winnie the Pooh or Piglet, and I never knew I wanted to see Eeyore depicted as a barbarian wielding like a massive hammer with a scar down one side of his face, but I have to tell you, it's a glorious thing.
That's something that I definitely need in my life. I need to be a cleric piglet.
Yes,
that's what I need.
I have to say, I did some research for a book. I don't ask this. This is a classic, I'm a writer and I was doing random research. But the research was, have there been animals that have been arrested?
And have there?
Yeah, loads of donkeys.
Really?
So talking of Eeyore, like donkeys apparently have like serious attitude, and multiple donkeys have been arrested.
That's amazing.
Past. Yeah, donkeys and goats. Yeah, there we go. Don't ask why I was researching that, but it came up. So yeah, FYI.
So the glory of being a writer, that you just have these tidbits of information that you just throw at people at random points. That's never going to be useful. Oh wait, now it is.
See, this is why people come to this channel, so that they can learn that donkeys are hoodlums and
actually,
should be in
yes.
prison. I do have some good news to share. I've got quite a lot of good news, actually. So I'm going to share a few of them now, and then I'm going to ask Emily a question that is burning in the back of my mind, and then I'll jump in and do a few more. So this month we've got Joel Glover has a story in the Our Dust Earth anthology, which is a sci-fi stories and mini TTRPG collection, which is going on Kickstarter. I believe as of the time of recording, it is currently running. And by the time we release this, there will probably only be about 2 days left in the Kickstarter. So if you haven't been to have a look, go and have a look at that now. A good friend, Mr. Tim Hardy, is celebrating having finished the Hall of Bones audiobook, which is being narrated by Mr. RJ Bailey. So that, again, was funded through Kickstarter. So he is currently getting ready to send out the audiobook rewards to all his Kickstarter backers, after which it will go on to general release. So we are very excited about that. We also had a message from Keiki Kesterson. He's releasing book 2 of his Norse mythology series. Next book is Shadows of Yggdrasil, which is on pre-order now. So go and have a look at that, because we love a Norse mythology story here. And CJ Daly has got their debut full-length novel landing on March the 4th, Welcome to Cemetery. And that is currently available for pre-order. So go and have a look at that as well. And before I go into a few more good news stories, Emily, I'm just wondering, what have you seen recently in the indie sphere that's been exciting you and making you think, oh, quite fancy a bit of that?
Hey, yeah. So actually, yeah, snap on the Tim Hardy front, because I backed his audiobook and I'm very excited to hear it. And actually, I've never heard RJ Bailey narrate something before, so this will be my first time hearing him. And obviously met him in Shrewsbury, and great guy, and obviously has such an expressive character voice, so I can't wait for that. And yeah, so that's actually probably my number one thing. Yeah,
I mean, we completely agree with that. There is plenty to be excited about there. The other piece of good news that I wanted to mention as well is another friend of Spotlight Indie, Phil Parker. He is going to be releasing his second book in the inside story of the British Bureau for the Arcane. Plans are currently to release it next month, so February. And we're really looking forward to that. And Alex, that might mean you actually get a chance to get a copy this time.
I know. Yeah, I've mentioned it before on the channel, but Phil was selling his copies of the first book at the Shrewsbury event last year, and I was upstairs, taking part in panels and wandering around. And by the time I got downstairs, he'd sold out, and I couldn't get one. I was most miffed.
Oh, I've thought of another thing.
Yes.
Sorry, I've thought of another thing. So the BSFA Awards, the long list has now closed and will be published soon. And the long list for the BSFA Awards is always really, really fun because it's, it's such a wide variety of books and, all sorts of nonfiction, fiction, short, mid-length, all of these things. And, traditionally published, self-published, all of these, everything goes. And it's a wonderful source of sort of just an overview of exciting things that are happening in the world of publishing in the UK. And so, yeah, definitely look out for the long list being published. But also, if you're not aware of sort of the BSFA, BFA sort of award processes, and you are an indie writer, you don't need to be traditionally published to qualify. You can, if you've got work that's come out in the last year, you can get on there. And I think you need something like 10 votes to appear on the long list. And then obviously that's a great opportunity for publicity because everyone checks out the long list to then choose their shortlist, for the award. So if you're not following that already, put it in your calendar, make a mark, because next time the awards come around, just get out to your readers, nominate, and yeah, you never know. Yeah, and you got to love an award.
Absolutely.
I mean, who doesn't? Yeah. I give myself awards all the time,
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Woke up on time today, get an awards. It's like very similar to the sticker method, Alex, very similar.
Yeah, I have, stickers that I award myself. I've got like a drawer full of awards. I mean, other people call them chocolates, but I mean, I get them for just, as you say, waking up in the morning, finding the drawer, opening the drawer, a new award. So
yeah.
Achievement unlocked.
Exactly.
Life is do you do the Zelda music like do, 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 do.
Yeah, I think my wife is too long suffering that I have to give a speech every time. It's like nice. I'd like to thank Tesco for delivering this award to the house. Yeah, I might have to cut the speeches down.
Yes. Anyway, before we get too far into the madness of giving ourselves awards for everything we do, which we clearly deserve.
Absolutely.
What we do like to do with this section of the show is try to celebrate the achievements of the indie industry, creators, writers, authors, artists. And we can only do that if people keep sending us their good news. So please do send us all of your milestones, your achievements, and don't for 1 minute think that they are too small to be mentioned, because every little achievement counts and we are happy to hear and celebrate them. So keep sending them in.
Absolutely. Agreed. As you say, no achievement too small, and it is so easy to get lost in the noise of everything and feel like nobody wants to hear about it. But as we have said, we want to hear about it. Yeah. It only takes 10 votes to get on the long list for the BSFA.
Crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah. It's a big award as well. And, even if you get on the long list, that's something to shout about, Yeah,
absolutely.
Long listed for that, put that under your name. Long listed for the BSFA
award. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we are going to be wrapping up this section of our time with the lovely Emily. And before we go, we're just going to do a quick run through of socials, where to find people. So Emily, if people want to find you or they want to find out more about Dex Legacy, where should they be going?
Well, I'm on everywhere at Emily Inkpen. I'm very easy to find, just my name, Emily Inkpen. So you can Google me and you'll probably get to everything. I've got a website and the Dex Legacy, thedexlegacy.com. You can find the dexlegacy.com through my website. The Dex Legacy is free to listen to on all podcast platforms. So all you have to do is go to wherever you get your podcast, search the Dex Legacy. It will come up. Wasteland, a Dex Legacy story. At the time that this is going out, will be out already. You can go over there, subscribe. We're releasing every single week for about 7 weeks. And yeah, so it's a stellar cast, all free to listen to. So go over, search Wasteland, a Dex Legacy story, and look for that cover. It's the one with the big mech on the front. And yeah, so yeah, you can find me anywhere at Emily Inkpen. And yeah.
Alex, where can people find you if they want to congratulate you on your many successes, like getting out of bed in the morning and putting on socks?
Yeah, or if they want to send birthday wishes to Pippin. Much the same as Emily. I am on most places as Alex S. Bradshaw, so at Alex S. Bradshaw, alexsbradshaw.com. Again, if you Google it, it'll probably show up at your favorite platform. So yeah, just reach out and come say hi, share your successes with me, not just my successes with you. Let's share them both ways. And yeah, if you want to get involved with any sponsorship or anything, hit me up, send me a message, and we can, talk about that. And then you can also help support the indie community as we are trying to do here. Holly, what about you? How can people get in touch with you if they want to?
If people want to get in touch with me, they can find me on the usual socials. So X, Facebook, Bluesky, under Holly Tinsley. They can also follow Spotlight Indie on Facebook and Twitter and the YouTube. If you have enjoyed the mad meanderings that have been this session so far, please do subscribe to our channel. The more we can grow, the more we can get the good news about indies out there into the world. In the meantime, Emily, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to see you, and we will see you next week for some Roll for Insight. Until then, keep reading, keep writing, and everyone pray that Fraser Armitage recovers in time to come back for the next session.
This is when you realise quite how much shit you talk with people.
Get back. We've driven off the hill now.
We can edit this, right?